We're live, Dad. Come on.
No, we're not. We're not live.
Yeah,
we
we
didn't
are.
say we're live. Oh my God, it's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. See, we are live now. And this is news that you can use for Friday, November 3rd, with your host, me, Ray. I'm not for everyone. And Mr. CarEdge himself, Zach. How are you today, handsome?
Mr. CarEdge himself. I love it. All right, folks, before we kick things off, thank you again. This week, we launched the Auto Insiders podcast over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, as well as here on YouTube. Thank you. Thousands upon thousands of downloads means the world to us. For a moment in time there, we were number one in Apple Podcasts. So thank you for that. The daily news you can use show is also obviously there as well. So please go check it out. We have something super exciting coming up later in the show today. CarEdge dealer reviews launched yesterday. All right, it is back. I know. There's so much I'm excited to show you about that. So stay tuned for that. Before we go there, though, Pops.
Yes.
And one other promo, we're still hiring. So caredge.com/careers. We are going to be talking about.
Yes.
How you're not for everyone. What are you doing?
I'm not for everyone, buddy. There we go. Yeah. Okay. I'm back.
All right, so here's the deal. We're going to be talking about Carvana today, folks. Dad, the big headline over at Carvana is the fact that they figured out how to make $6,396 on every single vehicle they've sold. This comes from their shareholder letter right here. Their total gross profit per unit was $5,953, but their non-GAAP gross profit per unit, so when they account for it the way they want to account for it, $6,396, up nearly $2,500 year over year. The chaos at Carvana is what I'll lead into in just a second here, but you were shocked when you saw that, weren't you?
Well, I thought to myself, somebody at Carvana likes fiction.
This is, I want to preface, no financial advice on this show.
Yes.
These are strictly our opinions, but go for it, Dad.
Yes. It just seemed odd to me that their gross profit per vehicle could go up 70% quarter over quarter. 70%. When everyone else in the industry, every major player in the industry is seeing their gross profits per vehicle sold go down. So I think to myself, oh my gosh, how could that be? How could that be from a company that had 1 quarter of profitability in its history prior to its previous quarter, where they said, oh my God, yeah, we turned around our $3.2 billion loss from last year. And well, we're making money now. And we're really making money now. And it's not to bring my favorite rapper into this, but it just seemed ludicrous to me that people who were so inept at running that company for the longest period of time have outsmarted everybody else in the industry. So yeah.
Let me provide some context here, because you're mentioning how other dealers are not making as much money per unit. Here are the headlines, folks. Penske Automotive Q3 net income falls 23%. So at the same time, Carvana figured out how their net income could go up and their gross profit per unit could go up more than 70%. Group 1, Q3 net income down 16.7%. Lithia, the largest dealer group in the United States, their net income slips 20%. So we have all of the other major publicly traded auto dealers out there making less money and less money per unit, and Carvana coming out and just like seemingly miraculously making way more money than ever before. So there's two potential things I see here, Dad.
Yes.
One is we can wave our flowery language around it all day. One school of one camp here is the numbers just aren't the numbers, and they're reporting the numbers. But, supposedly in our systems, that's not supposed to happen. The other could be maybe consumers are just paying a huge premium to buy cars from Carvana to avoid going to Penske and Group 1 and Lithia because they hate doing that so much. That's another potential here. And don't worry, I have the actual answer as a third option that I'll explain in just a second. But maybe it is, Dad. Maybe people just don't mind overpaying to go to Carvana.
Maybe they don't. Maybe people don't mind overpaying going to CarMax, which is the number one seller of pre-owned cars in America. But my goodness gracious, CarMax's profits didn't go up in the same quarter, and they've been doing it longer. And so I can't wait for you to provide the real reason. I'm just thinking that after they wrote this statement for their investors, that whoever wrote it is hoping to publish his new novel soon. Because you've got to be a really creative writer to come up with this stuff. And here's the beauty of it.
Huh.
Investors fall for it every damn time. Every damn time. Their stock went up 6% after close yesterday, after they reported their earnings
this morning.
Because I don't want to suggest for a second that investors as a group, as a large group, might get fooled from time to time, but my God, they'll buy whatever somebody's selling, even if it doesn't stand to reason. Well, they said it so. Okay, well, I don't know if this will ever happen, but if the same fate befalls this company that befell FTX, okay, at that trial, the investors are going to be sitting there going, well, I don't know how we didn't see this coming. It's just...
So here it is, Dad. Here it is for everyone at home. You don't have to even look that far. It's in the letter to shareholders. So Carvana has identified in their 3-step plan to profitability, there are ways for them to cut costs. You reduce costs, you increase your gross profit per unit sold. Now, here's the chaos and the concern that I have.
Okay.
We have reduced retail reconditioning and inbound transport costs per unit by $900 over the past 12 months through a combination of insourcing, staffing normalization, process standardization, proprietary software development, and logistics efficiencies. We have also made a $600 of per unit improvements in just the last 2 quarters as we continue to focus on operating efficiencies in step two of their plan. Our progress has driven down the total cost reduction of about $400 per unit since fiscal year 2021, which was our previous high water mark on retail GPU. Dad, reread that first sentence. They are cutting costs.
Yes, on reconditioning.
At this same exact time, folks, that we have the largest number of vehicles that are repossessions entering into the auto auctions.
Yes, and the one thing we know for a fact is that the quality of the cars that are running through at the auction, let me think of a real car term. They're piss poor in quality for most of especially the older cars, and have been for quite some time, which is why any of the nicer cars bring all the money and more. And it's not like we don't have friends in the business that go to the auctions constantly that will tell you that the quality of the stuff running through the lanes is way down in comparison to what it used to be. So if the quality of the cars that you're buying is lower than it's been, and somehow you've managed to figure out how to not spend any money to recondition it, well, then at what point are you going to be spending the money to take care of those issues after you've sold it? And then how will that cut into your profit structure? If you just want to say we're not going to recondition cars anymore, I was talking to Charlie Foster the other day. And Charlie's been with his dealer principal for 27 years. Charlie knows a little bit about what goes on at the dealership.
For sure.
And Charlie said at their dealership, typical on average reconditioning for pre-owned cars, $1,500 to $1,800. $1,500 to $1,800. Why? Because the quality of the cars has gone down. Okay, so that's just an average. So how can you get it down to 400? Okay, how can you say you're actually reconditioning cars and you're only spending 400 and some dollars per car to do it when the parts to recondition those cars has gone up, the cost of labor to recondition those cars has gone up. I mean, none of it. I'm sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Investor, none of it makes any sense. But
either none of it makes
you
any
keep
sense,
buying into what they're writing.
Or they're bucking the trend, Dad, because again, everyone else profits going down.
They're bucking the trend, I think you said.
I said bucking the trend.
Bucking, yeah. It sounded like it had an F in front.
No, I said bucking. They are bucking with a B. The trend, Dad. That's one option. Hey, customers hate buying. They're bucking the trend so much, Dad. You can't even buck it much harder than they are currently bucking it. Look at this chart. Let me scroll back up. Because this is the shareholder letter here. All right. There's some pretty surprising things. This chart is one that's pretty surprising. Their net income has gone up through the roof in a year. So that's incredible. The other chart that's incredible, Dad, this is the actual gross profit per unit. Look at that chart. Maybe they're bucking the trend, Dad. They've figured out how to gross $6,396 per car while reducing reconditioning expenses to less than $500 per unit.
Yeah.
While all the other automakers or all the other dealers out there are spending more money on reconditioning and making less money. Maybe they're bucking the trend.
Or maybe they just said bucket. Maybe they just said we're going to make this up. Okay.
No, I don't think that's not how our system works, man.
Bull poop. That is how the system works. Okay, that's exactly how the system works in many cases for many organizations where they misstate their earnings, where they misstate their expenses, where they misstate everything about it, where they value things more than they're really worth, or they devalue things less than what they're really worth. So this nonsense. Okay, and that's the way I'm going to phrase it. This nonsense goes on a daily basis. Okay, and when companies like Enron fail or FTX fails, then at that point we'll go, well, damn it, we should have seen that coming. Well, I'm telling you right now, right here and now. Well, when Carvana goes down, okay, when all this is proven to be just pure absolute fiction on their part, everybody's going to be going, damn, how did we miss that? I mean, how did we fall for this? How did we think that they could lose $3.2 billion last year and then suddenly, without really changing their executive management team, suddenly go from being so damn incompetent to being, more competent than anybody else in the industry? And if you're buying that, as somebody once said, I got a bridge to sell you. I mean, it's just, come on.
You talking about, people misleading. It reminded me of what happened to BMW. And you've talked about this on this channel before and on the CarEdge channel.
All the time.
This is from September 2020. SEC charges BMW for disclosing inaccurate and misleading retail sales information to bond investors. They ended up being fined a couple $1 million, cost of doing business. You used to experience this when you worked in the industry. You would RDR car. Yeah, explain what would happen here. I'm leaving.
I would get a phone call from my factory rep, and he'd say, I need you to find 10 more cars. It's the last day of the month. I need you to find 10 more cars to report as sold. Well, I haven't seen 10 customers today, let alone sold 10 cars. He said, well, put some more in service loaner fleet or mark them as demos. I'll tell you what, Ray, do us a favor. Take 10 cars, mark them as demos. We're going to credit you back $500 or $750 per car for you to mark them as a demo. Okay. And by marking them as a demo for Mini and BMW, that meant, well, that was a sale. That was because it's not available anymore. That was a sale. That wasn't a sale. They paid us off to report cars sold that weren't sold. And that would happen on a monthly basis. And BMW Mini weren't the only ones that do it. Stellantis, who wasn't before Stellantis, FCA. I mean, they did it with Alfa Romeo. They did it with Fiat. I mean, this is not new stuff. This is stuff that goes on every damn day. So that the numbers you see as an investor when you're getting ready to invest in something, the numbers you see are typically pure, unadulterated BS. They make it whatever they want it to be because, well, they know you're going to buy whatever it is that they tell you it is. And you shouldn't. You just shouldn't.
I like this comment from Dan. Didn't BMW conduct audits? No, they were complicit. They were the ones doing it.
Yes, they conduct audits. Yeah, they conducted audits if you were in a contest, okay, and you sold more cars than they thought you would have, okay. But when they asked you, almost told you we will pay you to put more cars in your demo fleet or list them as demos. Yeah, they were absolutely complicit in that. It came from them. We need 10 more. I don't have 10 customers. We don't care. We need 10 more sales. Let's go. Let's figure this out. Get creative. It's the car business. Get creative.
It's the car business. Get creative, folks. All right, let's come back here to the chat for a minute. Wes says people hate dealerships and will pay to avoid the salespeople. 100%. That's part of Carvana's positioning, not to the extent that my dad obviously feels is reasonable, especially when you look at their peer CarMax. CarMax did not have the quarter that Carvana did. And you had a really good point. The executives haven't changed at Carvana. So how in a year did they miraculously turn around? Maybe they're incredible. Maybe. No, maybe.
Well, I know that they got some debt relief of some kind that was a one-time gig that they get to use for accounting purposes to make it seem like they made money when they didn't. It's this is just my opinion, folks. Okay, it's strictly Ray Shefska's opinion. I don't have any inside poop on what they're actually. It's just an opinion. Okay, it's probably my opinion. Okay, is probably based on as much facts as that letter to their investors was, in my opinion.
Florida man says, so if I'm following this right, Ray thinks that Carvana could be bucking with the numbers. I think so.
I do believe they're the biggest buckers in the nation at the moment. Yes.
From UM
Those
Tiger.
Mother buckers.
From UM Tiger 311. Brandon over at Car Questions answered, showed some repo vehicle interiors and they were nasty. Yeah. Again, the number of vehicles that are repossessed vehicles showing up at dealer auctions is back to pre-pandemic levels. And there's not a lot of other vehicles. Rental fleet vehicles are also coming up. There's just not a lot of lease turn-ins, for example, which are great used cars to get at the auction. I see this day in and day out. Brad asks us the question, are used cars from CarEdge trusted dealers or preferred dealers vetted? We provide an inspection report and the repair order for all of the work that was done on a vehicle that's in our network, a dealer that we work with. And you need to see that stuff, guys, because the vehicles coming from the auction are not in good condition. They need a ton of work. The same time that Carvana has found efficiencies to materially drive down their cost of reconditioning.
May I say, if you are looking at a used car at a dealer anywhere, and you said to them, hey, can you share with me the repair order showing the inspection of the vehicle, what they found, and what you did to it? And they say, no, absolutely not. Walk the buck out. Okay, just walk out. If you're doing it right, you would be proud to share that information with your customer so that you could prove why you were asking what you're asking for it. Here's what we bought it for. Here's what the tech found when he went over the car. Here's what we spent to bring it up to spec. Okay, and maybe it was $2,000, maybe it was $1,500, maybe it was $2,800. I don't know, but they can show you on the repair order. And I, now, are there dealers out there that might make up repair orders? There are, but they don't have time for that crap. So, and if they won't show it to you, you don't want to do business there. Trust me. We would gladly show that information to somebody.
Yeah.
And you want to take it to a tech. Is he nearby? We'll help get the car over there for you so he can inspect it. Because if you've done what you're supposed to do as a dealer, you have no reason not to share that information with the customer. I wonder if Carvana lets you take the car, get it. Oh, probably. I wonder if they'll share that repair.
They have. We should be we've been talking about cons, pros. They have a 7-day return the car guarantee. You got to be careful about that when they ship it to you. They don't refund you that, but it makes sense. Like that actually kind of makes sense. All right, let's switch gears, Dad. Okay. Do you want to go dealer reviews? Or you want to talk UAW? Which way?
Whatever you want to do. Let's do dealer reviews.
All right, we're going to do dealer reviews, and while we're in dealer reviews, we're also going to hit our favorite segment on this show. But before we do, I am so excited. The relaunch of CarEdge dealer reviews. This is the 3rd iteration. So I'm going to walk everyone through it. We have a promo that ends in 14 hours. So you got this big banner going on right now. Ignore that unless you're interested in a service contract or extended warranty. That is not the point. The point is up here on resources, gang. Click on dealer reviews. All right, that'll take you to the new dealer reviews interface. This is also if you're logged into your CarEdge account. It is under, where is it? Resources, dealer reviews. All right. We also obviously have repair in here that we talked about yesterday, but now under resources, dealer reviews, or from the homepage under resources, dealer reviews. The way that this works, Dad, I'm going to sort right now from highest to lowest. Okay. The way that this works right now, there's still a few bugs. Our team is actively, literally like still today, actively working on this, but it's stable. Like Sam's Auto Care should not be here as number 1 right now. We're going to fix that in a little bit, but you can see here, Anderson Honda has a review. We can look at more details about that review. We can see what their doc fee is. We can see their address, who to contact at the dealership. And then, of course, we can see the actual review. When you leave a review for a dealership, it'll show up here on that dealership's page, which is really awesome. So we've got here from Christopher. This was just submitted yesterday. 5 stars, truly a customer-focused experience. He purchased a 2020 Honda CR-V from them. It'll show up here. Now, what's really cool, Dad, is that you can actually, when you're viewing a dealer's inventory, so now I'm just looking at vehicles that are for sale at Anderson Honda, you'll be able to, when you scroll down here, scroll down, I'm scrolling, see the dealer reviews.
Oh, look at that.
Which is really nice, man. So it's all integrated into one place. Please, if you have bought a car and then not too, if it's just been relatively recent, come to the dealer reviews. Search for the dealership. For example, Chefska Subaru. Search for the dealership. So, for example, where'd you used to work? Mini of Baltimore? Mini of Towson.
Yeah, Mini of Towson today.
You used to work here.
Yeah.
Come leave a review. Is that the right email address? I think it is.
Yeah, it is. Well, no, it's not. No, not anymore. It's an AutoNation email address today.
Oh, yeah, it's an AutoNation email now. But still, I think this will get to the right person. You can leave a review for this dealership. So I might leave a review that says, my dad was a great manager.
And he was. Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
The reviews don't have to be if you bought a car. The reviews can be how you were treated trying to buy a car, and perhaps you didn't.
That question.
Yeah, and perhaps you didn't even buy the car there, but it was such a great experience or such a miserable experience that you just felt as if you'd have to review it.
Coming soon are going to be the ability to upload photos, as well as we're making the character limit larger. There's all sorts of things that we're going to be adding as enhancements, but that is CarEdge Dealer Reviews, the 3rd iteration. This time it can scale up, scale down. So please, please, please go check it out. CarEdge.com. Click on resources, then click on dealer reviews. Very proud of the team for all their work.
You should be. No, that is much, much nicer, much much more user friendly than it had been in the past. So
yeah, much.
kudos.
And we'll integrate it back into the car search so that you can, like, in the future, only see dealers that have more than 4 stars or something like that. So we are working on it. I'm really proud of the team. Day one of, like, many of us continuing
Yes.
to work on it. And you just have to create an account to be able to add a review. Anyone can view the review. So there's no issues there.
Very cool. Congratulations to Mitch and the team for doing such a wonderful job.
Thank you for that, Pops. Now, how about we
Yeah.
parlay that into our favorite segment of the show?
Really? You gotta be kidding me.
Wait, give me one more second. I need a sip of water.
Okay. Oh, really, really, really? You gotta be kidding me.
All right, so we're starting to get, now that we have the
Yeah.
dealer reviews live, they went live yesterday. We're starting to get some of those 1-star reviews.
Yes.
Let's look at a few of them, Dad. This is from Clarence.
Yes.
This is for Grubbs Acura. This is Clarence's experience at Grubbs Acura.
In Grapevine,
Watch
Texas.
out for their fees. Yep. Tried to buy bought a 2023 Acura MDX. I actually tried to. I walked away from the negotiating process with Grubbs Acura because the sales manager, Tim, would not remove frivolous fees, from the out the door. Was charging $3,500 for CPO activation and $2,500 for dealer prep. Purchased a 2023 MDX Advanced CPO at another dealer with 0 fees.
Ah, God. When are dealers going to stop that nonsense? The CPO fee is built into the damn selling price. The reconditioning costs are built into the damn selling price. They are not separate line items when you're buying or selling an automobile. They're just not. I would say, just between you, me, and Clarence, they deserve 0 stars, but I'm sure our system doesn't allow for anything lower than a 1.
Yes, correct. You are correct about that. I see the question, what is CPO? Certified pre-owned. So this is to get the additional warranty from the manufacturer for certified pre-owned. These are super lucrative for the dealers. CPO vehicles are super lucrative for the dealer. This is incredibly greedy, trying to charge an additional $3,500 and another $2,500. This is prime, really. You got to be kidding me. We have, Dad, from Mitch.
Yes.
He's actually a member of the team here. He's been waiting to leave this review for years. Okay, so congratulations, Mitch, on all the work you did to get dealer reviews built so you can leave this review. Love that for you, man.
Yeah.
Found a decent deal on a used Tacoma, but ran into a lot of suspicious behavior with the sales manager. Ran my credit when they assured me they wouldn't and tried to convince me to not use my credit union. Became too uncomfortable to move through with the deal. Wow. Again, we met Mitch, Dad. Mitch joined our team over 2 years ago. We met Mitch because he was one of our community members. Again, we're hiring CarEdge.com/careers. Coming full circle here for him to share this review after building dealer reviews. So congratulations, Mitch. I mean, this is also some of this really got to be kidding me crap here, isn't it?
It's just, I just hope I live long enough that there is a day where this type of behavior is no longer the norm. It's the exception. It's the rarity. That's what I hope for. There's no need to do some of the things that dealers do. Life is so much easier when you're transparent and you just tell the damn truth all the time. There's less to remember than when you lie and you have to remember the lie you told. So,
dude, so true. so freaking true.
I just there are dealers out there that get it. There are dealers out there that do it right. There's just not enough of them, and my hope is that while I'm still alive, those dealers become the majority of the dealers instead of the minority of the dealers. That's all I hope for. And through doing what we do and ranting and raving like I do, my hope is that we can make that so. But even if we don't make it so during my lifetime, make it so during yours. Because people deserve better than that. anytime you're going to spend your money, you deserve better than the way many dealers treat this situation. We deserve to be treated with honesty and transparency. And I used to phrase it this way, that we need to honor the customer's time and desire when they show up at the dealership. It's they don't have to show up. They don't have to open your door. They don't have to walk into your showroom. And so when they do, you should treat them with the respect that they deserve. You should honor their time. You should make it as pleasant and as transparent of an experience as it can possibly be. And that starts with the dealer principal saying, we're going to be honest, open, and transparent about how we do business. That's where it starts. So it's got to start with the dealer principals. And if a dealer principal is a thief and a con man, well, then his staff is going to be nothing but thieves and con men. But if the dealer principal is an honorable person that wants to do things the right way, well, then he's going to insist upon that his staff is honorable and does the things the right way. So it's not that hard. It's just a decision that has to be made at the highest level of the dealership. How do I want to be remembered? Do I want to be remembered as a really good member of my community, or do I want to be thought of as nothing more than a thief? So it has to start at the dealer principal. I don't know.
Totally agree, Pops. Totally agree. For those of you that are car dealers that listen to our show, please feel free to reach out to me, Zach at CarEdge.com. We are building out the network of dealers that we partner with to help streamline the experience, bring trust and transparency to it for everyone. That being said, Dad, there was a comment that caught my eye. Let's help Jim out here on this Friday. Jim says, how much different are used car values from KBB, Edmunds, etc., compared to Black Book, generally speaking? Trying to get the best or fairest trade equity on my 21 Silverado lease. And I want you to answer. I also just want to let Jim and everyone else know, I love Black Book. Absolutely love them. I'm turning more and more frequently to our cell network to get cash offers.
Yes.
To me, cash talks, money talks. You just go to CarEdge.com/sell, put in your vehicle information, and you get cash offers from dealers in your area without getting spam phone calls and emails and anything like that. It's truly like, we're talking about respecting privacy here. So that to me is even more valuable than book numbers.
Yes. And here's what I will say about all the books. The books are a guide. Okay. None of them are etched in stone. They're a guide. Every car is different. Every car has been treated differently. Every car is just different. Now, why do I like Black Book compared to some of the others? Black Book garners their information and analytics based on 95% of all the wholesale transactions that occur in the United States. 95% of them. Kelley Blue Book, which I believe is part of the Cox network, Cox relies on the Manheim auto auctions, which represents about 55% of all vehicles that are wholesaled in the United States. So I want to get information from a company that's basing their data on 95% of the market, as opposed to that company that's basing it on 55% of the market. But either way, they are just suggestions. They are just a guide. Like Zach said, do it like you want to sell the car and get some offers so you have a real understanding of what somebody would be willing to write a check for your car. Not if I said it's worth, I'll give you 15,000, but I won't buy it. And somebody else said, I will buy it for 14. Well, which is the real value? The real value is the 14, because somebody's willing to write the check. So That's what you have to realize. And by the way, I have another show to do in 10 minutes.
You have CarEdge Electric. Yes. Please go enjoy that in 10 minutes. We'll be back tomorrow night over on the CarEdge channel, Saturday night. It'll be quite fun, so tune in then. Dad, enjoy your Friday afternoon. I love you very much, and congrats on another great week in the books.
Well, thank you, and I love you as well, and I need to get my hands on a CarEdge sweatshirt as opposed to the I'm Not For Everyone sweatshirt.
Love you, Dad. I'll see you later.
I'll see you tomorrow night, buddy.
Yeah, catch you then. Bye.
Okie doke. Bye-bye.